Welcome to the 7 apps. Today we'll be discussing 7 applications that our group has chosen and the arguments for how they support collaboration. At the end of the presentation, we'll give you what our opinion is of the strongest and the weakest application for supporting collaboration.
This is whiteboard. It's a very powerful real-time app which can show the content across different time zones via internet. The user interface is very friendly and easy to get started. As you see, it's very easy. It keeps a golden rule for working collaboratively online that the easier the better. Because the users will not be depressed with using this easy tool, even the kindergarten kids know how to use it without any instructions. It also provides different ways for expression, include but not limited, drawing, inserting pictures, or typing, etc. My grade 9 transfer students who are studying in New Hampshire, the USA, also can use this tool to better explain their confusions about some abstract conceptions. They explain the confusions about some abstract conceptions to me while in our online courses. I'm in Beijing, China. The second app I want to share with you is Team Vision. Team Vision is an amazing platform for keeping everybody on the same page between different departments, different levels, or different roles, or even between different projects. The users can empower the members' rights to manage the projects, and the tasks can be assigned to the specific stakeholders. The students can learn how to use a waterfall model to manage a project or create a team production collaboratively. I used it with my high school students. It kept us on the same page and it did a great job for claiming the responsibilities and the personal outcomes. It also improved the students' time management skills. So I
Lucidchart is a mind mapping graphic organizing web-based website and app that allows people in different locations to collaborate live with each other to complete any kind of mind map or graphic organizer activity that they wish to complete. Lucidcharts can be created originally from scratch, or Lucidchart offers pre-made templates that can be used for multiple types of diagrams, charts, graphs. Users are actively engaged in the mind mapping and diagramming process. They learn to become familiar with using visual aids to be able to help not only themselves but other learners learn at either an elementary, secondary, or post-secondary level. Lucidcharts can be done individually, or groups of students can work together. They can be in the same location, but they can also be in different locations and still be working live on the same diagram or chart, as long as all users of the group have the link and have live access, so that they can be working on the charts at the same time as their other group members. Lucidchart really encourages collaborative, interactive learning for individuals and groups, and it is used not only in schools and colleges but also in businesses and big corporations throughout the world. The ThingLink web-based technology is an editing or an editor technology that allows interactive images and videos to be incorporated or included in the editor. Students can also create 360-degree media within the editor. ThingLink is not only a website that can be viewed on any desktop or laptop computer. It can also be used with the ThingLink app on any iPad tablet or Android tablet. And also ThingLink has a VR device option so that people can use a VR device to be able to view a ThingLink presentation. Students are able to create editorial presentations. If they are in a journalism class, ThingLink allows for e-learning course opportunities for students so that they can take courses through ThingLink online without having to actually be in a classroom or school building setting. A lot of businesses will use ThingLink for training purposes of new employees or potential employees for their businesses and their corporations. Program is not only used at the high school level, specifically at schools who are one-to-one with iPads or laptops, but they can also be used by colleges and corporations as well. ThingLink offers a data measurement option and other real-world tasks that learners can use ThingLink for. The program really encourages learners to consider different e-learning and online learning opportunities, and it is also something they should become familiar with due to the fact that businesses and corporations a lot of times will use the ThingLink editor. The Padlet web-based tool is a discussion blog type web-based tool that allows people to have discussions, start blogs, interact across classrooms, outside of classrooms, with either a teacher or other students. It is possible, depending on the expectations of the person in charge of the Padlet, to identify yourself when posting to a discussion or a Padlet blog, but it is also possible to stay anonymous. If you are wanting a discussion between a group of people and you do not necessarily want them to be able to identify others in the group, then it's not always necessary to have to identify yourself by name on a Padlet wall. You can start classes, teachers can start classes with bell ringer questions posted to a Padlet wall and have the students use a QR code to get access to the Padlet wall to answer those questions. You can also do class discussions with the central question or topic. Padlet encourages learners to interact with classmates and other groups, including the teacher. Again, not necessarily identifying yourself each time. You can be very creative with Padlet. You can post pictures in a Padlet post, post video clips. You can even post memes and things along those lines in a Padlet post as well. Padlet allows its learners to work individually or in a group, as mentioned before, either working individually on a discussion topic or possibly completing an assignment together as a group. Prezi is a web-based website that also offers an app for tablets as well, and it is a much more advanced and complex slide presentation tool that allows for interaction and collaboration between students, learners, teachers, whoever has access to the Prezi presentation. Users can create new Prezis or import slides from other presentation tools into the Prezi tool, and it promotes users to create much more interactive slide presentations with movement, videos, all different types of paths. You can have your slide presentations go in many different paths, and you can manipulate and reorganize any Prezi presentation depending on what you're wanting your viewers to be able to see in the presentation. Groups can work together on creating and collaborating any kind of a Prezi presentation that is created for group work. There are options to chat and to collaborate live as long as the Prezi is shared with each person within the group. They are able to work on their Prezi presentations at the same time. Prezi really encourages learners to expand their creative skills when creating and interacting with creating slide type presentations. It really takes basic PowerPoint presentations or even Google slide presentations and really turns them into more interactive, almost movie-like movement possibilities with a basic slide presentation. It allows learners to use real-world life skills to build and share their presentations with people all over the world, and it encourages learners to once again collaborate and interact with other learners in other places, not necessarily in the same classroom or building that they're in, with live collaboration and chat options.
Story Wars is a really neat online app that involves reading and writing. It engages the learners in a way that otherwise would not be possible. Multiple users can add books to this website, and students can read those books and then add on to the books if they choose to do so. This kind of helps build a community of learners, and it also builds their writing skills as well as teaching them the writing process. There are many examples for successful use of learning with this website. It uses writing prompts in a new and creative way. Let's say you're stuck in the middle of a story. Someone could jump in and really restart that story and help build on it. Also, it can really engage the imagination and spark interest as well. It allows the user to create their own adventure if they choose to do so. That way they're not stuck on just the writing prompt the teacher gives it or something similar. It promotes working with others on stories and learning from others too. And we know that the research tells us that when students learn from each other, it builds that community. It also helps strengthen that learning. It fires new synapses in their brain, and that is what that's when true learning occurs. It actively engages students in the writing process, as their opinions and ideas can be heard and seen as well. So they can add on to someone's book, and that person can edit it and then choose to make it a part of their book. How neat would that be to be added into someone else's book? It's almost like a goal that students want to work towards. It also teaches our students a really key part of working collaboratively, and that is to accept criticism. I think often criticism is hard to take from anyone, and in this way it'd be a constructive criticism where they're learning from each other. They make mistakes and they're not afraid to learn from those mistakes as they're working towards this goal. Some ideas for use with learners is I can see how I can encourage those who are reluctant to write or that struggle to process those ideas for writing, as it's a different format. Instead of being a part of just it being their writing, it's now everyone's writing. And so that gives them kind of a sense of ownership in the piece, as they know thousands of other people around the world are going to see their own work, and they want to then do their very best and try to get into these different books that sparks their interest. The class could also, I can see a classroom story taking place at the beginning where people are adding on to this story throughout the whole year, and they build off it together, and we can watch it grow over the year. They get to see the writing process over and over, as well as getting to see their own writing improve throughout the year as the story takes new twists and new turns. Lastly, it supports meaningful learning because Story Wars is active. It engages multiple learners. It allows students to reflect on their own writing and then in turn learn from their mistakes and improve on those. Students can collaborate with each other online and in conversation during the entire process. Ideas and storylines can become complex and multifaceted. These storylines can, like I said earlier, take twists and turns that they would have never even thought to have done in their own writing on a piece of notebook paper. And then students can also focus on improving certain things within their writing and set goals regarding their writing, goals that they will actually strive towards reaching, since they know again that this piece is going to be out there for everyone to see. It just helps push those kids even further and to help them build those connections that they might not have gotten without this application. As a team, we decided the weakest app for meaningful learning was app number 2, Teambition. And the reasoning that we felt this was, we had a great lineup of different applications for students to use, this being one of them, but we chose Teambition because of its complex design and because it doesn't directly support students' meaningful learning. This was more of a powerful tool for adults or other professionals, but it seems to be something that only skillful users could utilize effectively. In addition, it takes longer to learn how to navigate and utilize this tool versus the other tools that we presented today. It takes a large amount of time to become familiar with its functions at the beginning, which could lead to a lot of frustration and maybe even some anxiety there. Largely, Teambition, like I said, is used among professionals for sharing and managing projects and tasks, and it's great at that. Those projects and tasks can then be assigned to specific stakeholders. However, using it with students could ultimately, like I said, end with frustration and actually negatively impact what we are actually trying to go for. That collaboration piece could end up being destroyed just from the frustration that occurs from using this application. To use with students, we feel that it would become too tedious and just too time-consuming. The most powerful app that we thought of based on the lineup that we gave you is app number 7, Story Wars. We feel that this is the most powerful app because it's just simply a fantastic option for students. It's great for composing articles, both fiction and nonfiction. It's very useful to improve students' writing skills. Plus, it uses other people's help, other students. So we feel that this app motivates, engages, and gives students a meaningful learning experience. With the assistance of this app, students that might be more reluctant to write are now more motivated to write. Lastly, we know that the students learning from one another is a large part of a true learning experience. When they're learning from each other, making suggestions to one another, giving that constructive criticism and so on, they're learning tasks necessary for adulthood and just for the workforce. Items that might otherwise be missed. We feel that this app matches up with what this course is looking for: meaningful learning and collaboration. And we feel that this app pops out the most at us with those two things than any of the other apps mentioned in this presentation. That was the 7 apps and some arguments for how they support collaboration. We hope that you can use the information in this presentation to help support meaningful learning and collaboration in your own classrooms or your own environments.